a better USB camera. It's funny. Basically, I was like, you know what I should do? I should get a second camera, and I should get a flexible arm to mount one of the cameras on. So I could turn it or this way. And really, what this is for is so that if I'm like working on some techie thing during a show, I could have a workbench camera.
Is this like
That
a boom mic for your camera?
it's a
As it were.
boom camera for my show. So I mean, heck, right now you could all watch me type. And I'm trying to angle
Ooh,
that so
exciting.
yeah. So you could see all the typing
And
I
what?
do.
Oh yeah, what type of password are you putting in?
Like, exactly, you could zoom in on that and check that out. But
Right.
no, that's we'll look more at that. But that's because we got the iMac, and I'm gonna have the iMac on the table, and so this way, if I want to put a camera on the iMac,
Is that bad boy running?
we'll get into that. Yeah, yes and no. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It kind of thinks about it and decides if it wants to turn on or not turn on. But we're gonna work on that, and I think we're gonna get to the. I think we might be getting to the bottom of that problem. The big problem is what can you do with an iMic that doesn't have an iMac that doesn't have a working CD-ROM drive?
Right.
Can't really do much with it. There's no way to get any data on there. I put I now here's the other thing, and maybe I'll get somewhere today, because I grabbed all my USB thumb drives, and I format them in the exFAT format because exFAT is supposed to be a good format that is good to go back and forth between PC and Macs if you want to go back and forth between the two with a thumb drive. And then I put the thumb drive in the iMac, and the iMac said, "Dude, what the fuck do you want me to do with this thing?" Of course, I'm translating from Mackie to Gator's English, but
Right.
right. But we're going to talk all about that because once again, it is time for everyone's favorite internet radio show,
Insert title here.
the show that changes names so frequently we put a placeholder in. And I'm here. Brian Blues is here. And Mars is out there somewhere. And Gothard's out there somewhere. But it would be a rare event for Gothard to show up 2 weeks in a row. So
Really? Yeah.
I'm glad he remembered the whole Halloween thing because that was fun last week telling that old story again.
Yeah.
I thought telling it 15 times was enough, but no, people demanded the 16th telling of the tree.
After all, we don't really actually have any content, so you got to tell
have
it.
content. You all watched me buy an iMac on eBay 2 weeks ago. And this week you're going to watch me try to turn it
could
on.
have run out of, last week. Well, that was 2 weeks ago you bought it.
Right.
Last week it didn't show up, so
Right.
there was our content. And so what can we talk about?
What can we
The
talk
ghost tree.
The ghost tree. Yeah. Well, and so that was that, but we should start with our Gators weigh in. I it's time to weigh in this week. And actually, good news in the world of weight for Gators. And I'll bring up my little chart here with all my information because I am not shy about my weight. So this morning I weighed in at 247.8, which is exciting. That's a new low for this year. Because I started this whole redoing the Atkins at 250, nearly 256 pounds, and I've been getting to that point where I'm just kind of like circling around the 250 mark, where you can see here starting from the 26 I hit 250, but then it goes up and then it goes down to 249 and it goes up to 250 and it goes down to 249. And so today I took my first dip to clearly below 250. Now and that's always fun when you get one of those dips because it's like, you're spending day after day after day weighing in at 250 and then you wake up one day and you drop like 2 pounds. that's a great morning. Of course, that doesn't work. Law of averages, it's probably going to go up tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm probably going to be weighing in at like 248 or 249 again. But I seem to have broken under the 250 barrier. So that is some good news there.
Yeah.
Then, of course, the thing is Thanksgiving is around the corner.
Well, you're getting ready for Thanksgiving, right?
I am getting ready for Thanksgiving, but
Got the turkey?
You know.
You got the turkey?
Yes, my aunt is bringing the turkey to my other aunts, and I'm bringing.
That's right. You said that before.
You got the turkey?
There is turkey being provided. My aunts do the ready-made turkey dinner kit that you could buy from different stores have it. It comes with the turkey, the stuffing, the potatoes, the gravy, some form of cranberry type of thing, and I bring the desserts. Typically a cheesecake and a pecan pie. So that's the danger in this. I mean, mind you, I am kind of getting to the point where loss is happening, and I'm kind of averaging in at like 5 pounds a month, maybe. So a few days could really set me back a few pounds, which is a good chunk of what effort I've already made. So it's like I don't want to skip Thanksgiving, but I don't want to ruin all this effort. I mean, that line still looks very flat when you look at it that way. It's that slight little angle. and to undo 2 months of work with one meal would just be like a disaster. So hopefully, we'll see. We'll see. What I've got to, bake a cheesecake on Tuesday. Usually I lick the spoon or the bowl, get some batter in me at some point during that. Maybe I'll refrain from that. Wednesday I got to make the pecan pie. We got to drive out there. Usually you stop for fast food on the way. I guess I could be good and take the bun off the burger.
How long is the drive?
Well, I haven't done this one in a while, actually, because my aunt has decided to resume Thanksgiving at the house at the lake, which she hasn't done in like 3 years now. Last year, we didn't have Thanksgiving. The previous 2 Thanksgivings of that, we did it at our house in Jersey. So, yeah, it was 4 years ago, the last time we had a lake Thanksgiving. And I was stalling for time to bring up the driving time, but I can't seem to type and talk at the same time.
Right.
So let's just type that in, and let's see what that... Basically, it comes to about 5 hours. Yeah, that's a drive. That's about a 5-hour drive.
Yeah, that's including a break, right?
Right. Well, it depends.
A stop at either you get gas or you grab something to eat.
Yeah, usually at some point when I cross the Pennsylvania border, there's like a McDonald's off an exit someplace. And as you pointed out, and as I found out, McDonald's has brought back the McRib again. So
so they've got it. They've got it.
Yes. Yeah. Well, one evening.
Yeah, because I saw that and I said, "Oh, I got to let you know, in case you missed it."
And you basically told me that while I was eating a McRib.
Of course. Well, are you on their special mailing list?
Well, no,
Here's
actually.
That asshole that needs to have a McRib as soon as it comes available.
You'd think they would have for the amount of complaining I've done to them.
Sure.
But no. Actually, Kristen and I were feeling tired one evening, and we looked at each other, and she said, "What, McDonald's?" And I said, "Well, I can order a few, McDoubles and just take the buns off and wolf down the meat patties." So I pulled up the McDonald's app, and I saw that not only have they added another great new menu item, instead of the McDouble, they had the McTriple now. which is great because that is a better meat to bun ratio. So I just order a few McTriples.
Well, you take the bun off though.
Right, right. Well, the thing is that two McTriples equals three McDoubles, and that's one less bun to throw away. So that's less waste. So I ordered the McTriples, and then I saw, oh my God, the McRib is back, and it's like,
Well, it wouldn't be a waste if you gave it to the birds. Oh, of course, it could kill them.
Yeah. I mean, there's no telling what McDonald's puts in that bread.
That's right.
But so I'm ordering the McTriples, and I see, oh my God, they brought back the McRib. And when you go to order the McRib, they actually give you an option to leave off the bun, which they don't on their burgers. So I'm not,
Really?
but I'm like, okay.
Wow.
So I ordered two McRibs, no buns, and they basically gave me one of those like black salad containers with the clear lid, and two McRib patties laid in there with the onions and the pickles on it. So it was like getting a rib plate from McDonald's.
Nice.
Yeah, and they even included a plastic knife and fork, or as they say in Maine, fucking knife. Still one of my favorite stories from someone we know up in Maine that worked in the hospital, and there was an elderly patient, old Maine, old lady, strong Maine accent, and it's like, anything I can help you with? Oh yes, sir, could you get me a fucking knife?
Right.
He goes to the
Yeah.
nurse.
One
believe what
fucking
this
knife coming up.
Won't believe what this old lady just said. What? She just asked me for a fucking knife. The nurse goes, "Oh, I'll get her a fork and knife." And what?
Oh, that's great. That is fun. That's so hilarious.
That is a great story right there. It's funny because it's true. Yeah. So, gee, Mars must be running late this week, but that's okay because we've got content. And you know what? I discovered a YouTube channel a while ago, and I don't think I've talked about this yet. Because as some people know from watching the show, I like streaming with former coworkers. I've been streaming with in fact, I don't think I invited you on the show until you quit the job. And it's like, oh, okay, former coworker. Why don't you come on the job?
No,
I'm teasing.
actually, I think I did start before.
Well, I know the way I enticed you into it is, well, if you're going to move to Singapore, you're going to have to call in and tell us how things are going in Singapore, because that's a like new, unique experience. That's content. And you called in and you were like, yeah, we're in Singapore and there's places here. But we made it work. It was fun. Well, we talked about how to use a squat toilet, and we still could not talk you into actually trying one out for the experience to come back with the story.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's always a good thing you want.
The only story you have about a squat toilet is you open up the stall door, you walk in, you see it's a squat toilet, you turn around, you walk out. That's the only story. Nope. But anyways,
fortunately for multiple stalls, right? Because some are regulars.
There you go. Just keep wandering around till you find the one you know how to sit on. But no, I was I discovered that another former coworker of mine has been streaming, and I believe he's been streaming for a while, and I think he's been streaming for quite a while on and off. And so he's doing some regular streaming again lately. And the YouTube channel is Bacon Ice Cream Productions, which sounds like an interesting flavor of ice cream.
Sure,
yeah,
why not?
Bacon Ice Cream Productions.
So where did you work with this guy?
Walmart. So this goes.
So wait, California or back east?
Jersey.
So the first place you worked there was a Jersey one, right?
Yes.
And then you worked at one in Maine, right?
I did work at a Walmart in Maine for the first summer I was up there while I looked for a real job. And
Yeah.
yeah. So this was like
And
my first
actually, when you returned, you worked at Walmart there, didn't you?
when I no,
When you left California.
when I left California and I went back to Maine, I did not pick up a Walmart job that time.
Oh, okay.
I just job hunted. I had some savings at that
Oh, sure,
point,
sure.
and so it's like, yeah, I'm not doing the Walmart thing this time. Also, what
Well, I
helped
don't blame
was
you. I don't
what
blame you.
what really helped was having a free roof for the summer. The trailer was empty, and
Aha.
Gothard and his parents were like, "Yeah, sure, crash there." They didn't bring up the topic of rent, and I didn't bring up the topic of rent, and then I found a job that took me away from there, so we never needed to bring up the topic of rent. So yeah, basically,
So
if
you
you
just ditched them,
well,
loaded up your vehicle, and left.
oh, they knew I was leaving. I told them I got a job. And I also did make sure to send them a very nice Christmas gift that year.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You
So,
know the Harry
so you
David,
you did
the
show the
fruit
proper
and the
appreciation.
pears and all the. Oh yeah. I sent
That's
them
that's the important thing, actually,
I
right?
sent them the deluxe Harry David package that for Christmas that year.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the fruit and the nuts and the all the things. A gift that says, I want to show that I thought of you, but I had no idea what to get you. So here's a box of fruit.
Right.
I hope you like pears. And Mod Pro is in the room. Hello, Mod Pro.
Hey, Mod Pro.
So, yeah, Bacon Ice Cream Productions on the YouTube. And I've been watching this channel for a while, and a lot of his streams, Retro Rich is the main streamer's name on that channel, and he's got a lot of other friends that I see him stream with. And he focuses a lot on retro gaming, of course, which, this is the guy that introduced me to the PlayStation 2 and Grand Theft Auto 3. So, he got me. Mind you, I was a gamer before I worked at Walmart with Nintendo, Super Nintendo, but he kind of brought me into the current gaming because I wasn't really thinking about buying a PlayStation 2. And then we went hung out over at his place, and he threw on the Grand Theft Auto 3. And that was around the time that the 1-800 dial a tank cheat code was something that we were having a lot of fun with, because there was this button combination you'd put in, and an army tank would just drop out of the sky. And, that's fun at first to just drive around in an army tank. But then to have a cheat that lets you just randomly drop army tanks out of the sky and just keep pressing that code really fast over and over and over again. I mean, you got tanks dropping on tanks, too much objects trying to fill the same space at the same time. Tanks start flying off all over the place. Things are exploding because it's raining tanks. Hallelujah, it's raining tanks. And that was some great. And I'm like, oh my God, I have got to buy me one of these things and buy me this game. That's all I needed. I mean, if they just sold a PlayStation 2 with Grand Theft Auto 3 permanently installed in it and that's all it did, I would have handed over my money for that. But no, it was more than that. It was a whole game system, and they were going to keep coming out with more games. So, so anyways, Bacon Ice Cream Productions, Retro Rich, and I decided, it's been so long since I've been in contact with him, it's time to reinitiate contact. And so I decided to have a little fun. So Saturday morning, I was eating my breakfast, and I noticed, oh my God, Bacon Ice Cream Productions is streaming live. Here's my chance to reinitiate contact with Retro Rich, because I haven't talked to him in years. I think we're still Facebook friends, but Brian, how many people are you Facebook friends with that you haven't talked to in 5 years?
Uh,
Yeah,
I'm going to
you,
communicate with them on Facebook. That's kind of the point.
no. The point of
But
Facebook
talk
is to,
face to face very very rarely.
right, and
I mean, if you're talking to a person all the time, why do you need to be connected with Facebook? Although I do, well, no, I take that back.
Mm,
There are a couple of guys that are in this men's group that I go to.
okay. But
But in fact, I talk less to them there than I do in person.
but sometimes it could be a thing where you make Facebook friends with someone that you knew in the past, and then like you don't. I don't do a whole lot of activities on Facebook, so then years
Right,
just
right.
kind of
So
go
you're not
by.
posting against
So
the crap that they post,
I mean,
or
for
they're
all
not
I
posting on the crap that you post.
for all I know, 5 years ago he pruned his contact list and was like, "Well, I haven't talked to this guy in 10 years," and removed, and I've not noticed because I'm not
Well,
paying
I mean, you got.
attention.
I mean, well, and that's the thing. In fact, a couple years ago, I purged a bunch of people from Facebook. In fact, I thought I purged you, but
And you
apparently I
didn't.
didn't.
No, I think you purged my alter ego. You purged me, Johnny Gators, but you did not purge Jonathan Guitars. So,
Oh, oh, oh,
and oh
oh.
no,
Okay,
I'm still Facebook friends with him. He has not purged me, and I don't purge anyone.
okay.
I
Yeah.
didn't purge my ex
Well,
sister
again,
in
you don't
law
go in that much.
because
So,
you keep
so
your
in fact,
friends
there was
close and your
a
enemies
guy that I
closer.
purged a couple years ago, and I had posted something on one of his links, and someone commented on that, so it popped up again. It's like, oh, that's interesting.
Hmm.
Even though I'm not following that guy anymore, this popped up. So I says, what the heck? I'll just refriend him again.
There you go.
And then we chatted on the messenger a little bit, a little back and forth.
Yeah. So
You know, the shitty messenger garbage.
anyways,
Boy, do I hate that app.
I was like, live stream Retro Rich, and people are chatting in. I'm like, well, here's my opportunity to just kind of slide a little message in there and see if he notices my name and if he makes the connection of Johnny Gators, Jonathan Guitars. Because mind you, the Johnny Gators name goes back to before I worked at Walmart, but I don't know that I ever used the Johnny Gators name at Walmart. So I don't know if I don't know if that alter ego was known or was a thing that was ever a topic, or if not.
Right.
So I'm just like, let's see if he recognizes the name. And one of the big things that he loves to promote on the channel is this modern console of retro games, which is a really cool thing that I
In
hope we
fact,
have a.
in a job site or what have you, do you ever go by Johnny?
Oh no, I only ever go by Johnny when I'm going by Johnny Gators.
Right.
I've never
Only the
gone by
convenience is
Johnny.
it is close to. I mean, a Jonathan can be a Johnny, right?
No, I am.
But a Johnny could also be a toilet. So,
No, a toilet's a John, and I go by Jonathan.
well, you know, some people
I've
go with
never
Johnny.
called a toilet a Jonathan.
Well,
Maybe,
you haven't. Well, I would never call one a Brian.
I'm gonna go sit on the Brian. Yeah, no, I guess that would be like at a formal occasion, you might ask, pardon me, where's the Jonathan? And then they'd start pointing in my direction. Be like, what, is he the attendant that's going to hand me a towel on my way to the Jonathan? I don't know. Is calling the Jonathan, like calling the piano forte? I don't know.
That is a good question.
That is a good question. We have really gotten off topic, but Mars is in the room.
Was there a
talking about
topic?
apple butter. Yeah, the topic is batteries not included. We'll get to that.
Oh.
Mars is going bacon ice cream. So he's approving. Brian, my Bullseye is installing. Need to install it on my Pi Zero soon.
What?
No, Bullseye. He's installing Bullseye on a Pi Zero. I thought maybe he was speaking in code to you. Anyways, so as I was saying, I checked out the Saturday live stream, and he's talking about the Evercade, which you can buy this thing online. It looks pretty cool. I mean, it's a cartridge-based console. They also make a handheld version that I believe takes the same cartridges, and they basically have cartridges that are libraries of vintage console games.
What's Bullseye?
I don't know, but I'm past that. And
But maybe Mars isn't.
Maybe you could hit him up on the DMs and figure that out. But
Right.
so that looked really cool. And so I'm like, well, here's what I could write in and be on topic while trying to distract him. And so I kind of wrote in like, hey, that's really cool. Where do I buy one of those? Could I find that at my local Walmart or Circuit City? Because he left the Walmart job to work at Circuit City. So I figured he would get the reference that I know him through his past lives at Walmart and Circuit City. And he did not make the connection, but he brought the message up and he loved my asking about Circuit City. He thought I was like making some kind of a joke by referencing a defunct company. And it was like, yeah, mentioned that I used to work there. I'm like, okay, all right. Noticing my messages, still hasn't figured out who I am though. So I tried again. So after he got the job at Circuit City, I was in the market for a new computer because my old AMD K62 at 350 megahertz was looking quite sad at that point. And so I went over to Circuit City and I said, hey, Retro Rich. And he said, what? And I said, oh, trust me, that's going to be your YouTube name someday. And he said, what's YouTube? But anyways, I said, well, I said, I said, I need a new computer. Can you get me a deal on something? Maybe you can, slide me some of that employee discount under the table there, huh? You know what I mean? And no, he's kept things on the up and up by the book, but he was able to get me a sweet deal on an AMD Athlon E-Machines that was an open box, and so it was marked down. And they kept all the original documentation, which means that not only did I get the discount for the open box, but I got the receipt and the form for the mail-in rebate for like another $100 or so off, like enough that it's like, yeah, I'm mailing that in for that rebate. And so that was computer number 3 actually. So I made a comment.
Wait a minute. Whoa. An E-machine,
Yeah,
but those are upgradable forever.
not when they overheat.
That was the deal.
Not when the processor burns out.
Yeah, but they would replace your computer.
Not when they're not in business anymore.
Dang, the warranty is only as good as the length of the
I
length of the warranty is only as good as the length of the company.
I don't know what the warranty was on that tower, but I do know at some point that tower exceeded my needs exceeded what that tower could deliver. So I actually replaced that tower with my first build when I built a Pentium 4 on myself, and then after I did my new build and transferred everything over. I gave the E-Machines a factory reset because I still had a set of factory reset discs back then. And I gave it to Gothard's mother because she was talking about needing a new computer. And they had let me live in their house that summer while we were getting the trailer set up. And there was no rent going on. I was just working at Walmart and settling things with the trailer and sorting that all out. So after spending a summer living in their house rent free and all the help they were doing, I'm like, here, let me give you a computer. And then I think like a year later it overheated and the processor burned out and she wanted to buy something new by then anyways. But so I mentioned the comment in there going because he was talking about Circuit City and how he used to live there, and I'm like, great, on topic, let's see if he figures this out. So I wrote in and I said, yeah, guy gave me a good deal on an open box E-Machines tower at Circuit City. And he reads the comment and he's like, oh man, yeah, that's funny. And it's like, whoosh. So I tweeted him after the stream and revealed who I was. And the point of that is I'm hoping I can get him to come onto this stream so we could talk some retro gaming. He could talk about his channel. We could talk about the Evercade, and I could talk about my stuff, and we could talk about old school gaming and have a good old time. And hey, maybe we'll share some old Walmart stories. Not that there's many exciting stories about Walmart. Maybe we can compare our styles of paging because I've demonstrated by page a few times on this show. Anyways, so I'm looking forward to that. No promises though. I mean, the invite has been sent, and he's responded that he'd have to check, see when he's available for a Monday stream. So, but in the meantime, check out the Bacon Ice Cream Productions YouTube channel, especially if you like the old school console gaming. You'll definitely want to check it out and watch what he's got going on over there. So, oh, something going on over there?
Probably just a delivery.
Ah. Oh, yeah. You know what's fun? The Alexa likes to tell you, my apologies to all the people listening with Alexas in earshot. I'll have to stop saying Alexa because that's probably really annoying when I... Okay.
Well, you could say the word that I use because this thing can't hear you. Yeah, you have to wait until I say it by mistake.
Yeah, that's always fun. The Alexa will alert us when an Amazon package has arrived, and up until recently, that's the only thing it alerted us to. So one day, the Alexa makes the noise that there's an alert, the light turns orange, and Kristen goes and opens up the door and finds nothing at the front door. So we checked the notification, and it basically was like, yeah, you know that Blu-ray you bought 3 weeks ago? Would you like to give it a review?
Yeah. Actually, there's three things.
Oh, leave me
alone. There's the reviews, and sometimes you know, or you say, yeah, I love that thing. I'll give it a 12.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 1 to 5. It also will tell you that something's on the way. It's like, yeah, I know. I don't really give a crap.
No, I open tabs with tracking information because I want it now, whatever it is.
Exactly. I already knew about that.
Like right now, I am waiting for my eBay buy it now of 10 replacement CD-ROM drives for iMacs.
10?
Yeah, I couldn't find a single one. They were all married.
Oh.
We'll get to that. We're getting to the iMac. We'll get to the iMac, but that's a little preview there of what's to come with the iMac. So anyways, Mars pointing out that he had a K6 450 megahertz. Now, Mars is in the chat room and not joining. So is Mars on location? Is he visiting someplace? I mean, I guess he's just not around. Or, well, no, he's around, but he's not at his studio, I guess. Anyways, so speaking of old console games and that PlayStation 2 that I bought back in the day to play Grand Theft Auto 3, I tried to repair my PlayStation 2 recently, and I started with a PlayStation 2 that is really slow to load games. I turned it into a PlayStation 2 that won't turn on anymore, and I repaired it back to its original state of a PlayStation 2 that's really slow to load games. So I broke even. That Mars saying I never sent him the link. I totally sent you the link. I started a new discussion group with both you and Brian, and I sent the link to it. You should be on that group. I guess you didn't see that the group was started, or here, I'll send you this one here, just to cut down on the confusion. My apologies. Every week I send a link to a group of people that only Brian responds to anymore, and a separate link to Sir Mars, and then I bring up Facebook Messenger and send a link to Gothard because he doesn't tweet all that much. And so I thought, well, maybe if I just start a new group that's actually relevant to the people that participate. Anyways, Mars, very sorry. That took me a half hour to realize that you didn't see the link or know where the link, or didn't get the link. I don't want to sound passive aggressive because I don't, it happens. I'm, maybe some bad connection on my side too, even. Anyways, so my PlayStation 2 was loading games slowly. And now, Brian, if you had a optical disc-based system that was still loading games, but it was loading them slowly, what would you think the problem is?
You have a virus.
No, I don't. No, not at
I don't know.
all.
What's the problem?
Usually, the thing that goes in the old PlayStation and the PlayStation 2s is the laser. That the laser itself starts to get weak, and so laser replacements are still readily available and relatively cheap. Of course, they're Chinese knockoffs that are probably going to last half the life of the original laser that you're replacing it with. But hey, it's something. So I went onto eBay and I bought a replacement laser for my PlayStation 2. And they sent me this part that they shorted out the connections with a blob of solder as an anti-static measure of protection. I've never heard of this practice in all my years working with electronics. Usually, if you're worried about static, you put something in an anti-static bag. But so
I'm sorry, they did what?
They put a blob of solder over multiple contacts to short them out as a anti-static protection measure. So the first thing you have to do is, with a soldering iron, remove the blob of solder that's shorting out the contacts.
That's a stupid thing for them to do.
That is absolutely stupid. That's what I said.
You know what's a lot better? If you don't have an anti-static bag, just use a aluminum foil.
Yeah. And you know what? I got like 20 anti-static bags in my basement from things that I've bought over the past few years. It's not that hard to accumulate them. And speaking of accumulating anti-static
especially
bags,
if you're sending stuff out.
Yeah, we have Mars in the...
I just thought you didn't love me. I'm like, that's fine. Whatever. Fine with me.
I guess, you see, I started a new group.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get anything. So
You didn't get anything.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. I'll just keep...
So who's that in your group that's going to join the show?
It says that the group is Sir Mars, Brian Blues, and Brian Blues got it, but Sir Mars...
Yeah, but I go into the one, I'm pretty sure, go in the one that's Lulu's in.
No, I didn't send it to that group anymore.
You didn't?
Okay. Where does it go? It goes right to Twitter, or does it go to email?
Tweeter.
It goes to the Twitter direct messages.
Oh no, I didn't get it.
Oh, yeah.
Because you could have group,
You
could have group messages.
Wait,
No,
and you don't want Venison to come back?
I do, but I don't want Lulu to come back.
You don't want... Wait a minute, you don't want Lulu to come back?
If Lulu comes back, we lose Mars, and he's well established now.
well, hey, like I said, if she shows up, I'll disappear for the day.
Am I not supposed to say these things out loud? No, Lulu.
I have no problem. I have no problem with this.
Lulu's been getting the link every week for forever. And she started streaming again recently, and she's not been clicking the link. So I'm like, okay, you don't want to come back. We got a good thing going here without bucking the system. So I just decided to start a new group and take her off of it. Now if she reaches out to me, says I want to be on the show, I'll be like, well, we're going to have to figure out how to make that work. But that's an off-air discussion.
Oh, and she has been tweeting, not frequently.
But
she's been doing YouTube links. She's been doing YouTubes. So,
I've said too much. As usual, I've said too much. And speaking of saying too much, I talked to Emily this past weekend. That's all I'm going to say about
Holy
that.
shit.
Hey, Brian, Bullside's a new Raspbian build for the Raspberry Pi. That's what I was talking about.
I'm sorry, the what?
The Raspbian for Raspberry Pi. It's a new build of the Raspberry Pi OS.
Oh.
That's the name of his Bullseye. Remember, all the names that come out of the Raspberry Pi OS is based off of Toy Story.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the new one is Bullseye, which is the horse.
Oh.
Yes. That's what I was talking about, sir.
Ah!
Are you okay?
And that's a Debian name as well.
It's portable.
What did you just put up there? What? Oh, there's a handle on the top. That's right. Wait.
So, I have this old Lenovo notebook that
Uh-huh.
I got in 2010.
Oh, I have one of
And
those. Well, not Lenovo, but I have something
and
from
it
2010.
crapped, the Linux crapped out on it. This
Oh,
was
that's a shame.
Debian 8.
Oh. Oh, you
And
run
my brother
Debian on it?
suggested, oh,
Uh-huh.
just reinstall the other one. Yeah, but I did an update on it and it fucked up the GUI, right?
You could
I
just
attempted to load Bullseye on it
Oh.
and it came to a black screen. And I went all over the place to figure out how to fix it. And there were some answers that threw you in wrong directions. It's like, has nothing to do with that, you fucking dipshit. That's not the Linux elitist pricks. That's
Wow.
the dumb shit that doesn't even know what they're talking about.
Wow.
Not the
Anyway,
prick, the dumb
so
shit.
the curious thing is that I did install. No, I got a boot disk for Gparted. You know the
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
the
I think
good
it's
partner.
great.
times.
Yeah.
That booted up and came up 100% fine. Everything worked. I went to see what version of Debian it was. It was Bullseye.
Was it Bullseye? Bullseye came out on the 30th, so
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's like, crap. Why does that work and a regular Debian doesn't work? What the heck?
Maybe display drivers. Did you try hooking your laptop up to external display to see if it just didn't like your monitor or resolution or? Yeah,
I
you shouldn't
tried
have a
changing
problem with it, but-
resolutions, all kinds of crap. Nothing worked.
May not like your video
It's
card.
bizarre.
I
So
don't
I found a copy of Debian 10, Buster,
Yeah.
and Buster didn't bust it. Buster works.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
The annoying thing is the whole front end between Debian 8 and Debian 10 is different. What, am I on some kind of a tablet piece of shit?
So I have a question.
So I
Gators?
just use SSH
Yes.
to get
Yeah.
into it.
So my question, Gators, have you recorded all those springy noises and everything else so you can make your own what was it the noise music you listen to?
Noise music.
The bings
Yeah.
and bongs.
The Bings and Bongs music.
Electroacoustic.
The Bings and Bong music. The
Bings and
noise.
Bongs.
Yeah.
Well, that depends on which Bings and No, I've not made
Frackenhauser,
Glass or whatever his name is.
Frockenhauser.
whatever name. I just made up a
Frackenhauser.
name.
Wow, that sounds German. You got some
Hauser.
German Bings and Bongs.
Now, Frocken sounds like the beginning of Frockenpaul, but Frockenpaul was a piano exercise book that was loathed and hated by anyone who had to.
So when someone gave you that book to go through, you said, "Oh man, I'm just going to do some bings and bongs,
No,
or smoke one."
Well, that book was the type of book that they gave you the right hand part, and you had to make up the left hand part, also known as Frockenpauling it.
Oh.
But anyways, as you can see, we got a little bit of a flicker going on here because
We do?
say CRTs. Yeah, I've brought the iMac up, and as you can see, it turns on.
What happened? How did you do this?
Oh! This is your
I-
other screen.
I pushed the power button. Now, it doesn't always turn on, but sometimes it turns on. And then once it decides it doesn't want to turn on, it won't turn on until you leave it unplugged overnight. And then it'll turn on again until it doesn't.
Sounds like it needs to empty your capacitors. That's what it's basically doing.
No,
Yeah.
I think, well, the thing is that...
You know what you do is you put solder across the leads of the capacitors.
to protect against the static, it's the static
Yes,
build
exactly,
that's preventing it from
exactly.
turning on.
And that's what you're seeing is the static.
Yeah.
Wait, can he just duct tape one of those static bags that the hard drives come in on the board? Would that work?
That would, like an antenna.
That would work
Yeah.
probably better.
There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
No, well, the thing is that what I've read online is that sometimes these things can act a little funny if the motherboard battery is dead. And I think I'm not supposed to call that a motherboard, which makes me want to call it a motherboard even more.
I think you're supposed to call it a main board, but Or motherboard.
Here's the thing. I've been conversing about this machine in a Mac-based forum, and I did not refer to the motherboard as a motherboard, but I mentioned that I'm more of a PC guy in my intro, and someone made a point to tell me that in Apple's they're not called motherboards. So,
what are they? What did he tell you? What they're supposed to be called?
I believe they're called logic boards, which is stupid. So I am going to make a point to always refer to the motherboard in this machine as a motherboard. Now, Dune wants me to at least sync up the refresh rate. Well, I can set different refresh rates, although I'd have to look at the screen here. Let's adjust my camera too. Yeah, this is real professional operation here.
Oh yeah, it looks like a champ.
Well, I was just showing. I mean, so if I set it to 1024 by 768, that makes it flicker faster.
Faster.
Yeah.
No, you set the refresh
More
rate
better,
to,
man.
Now, if I set it to 640 by 480, it flickers slower, but
you just
thinner
change the
lines.
refresh?
No, basically the three different. It has three different settings: shit, shittier, and shittiest. And this setting is 640 by 480, and each setting has their own refresh rate. You can't set independent refresh rates. You could either set it to shit, shittier, or shittiest, and they each come with their own refresh rate. So there you go. This is 640 by 480, also known as old people mode. And then you can really read the icons on there. So, main board is what Dune's saying.
I thought it was called as a main board, but
You know what? Let's go to the web, and let's pull up the
Is
thread.
that because they're made in Maine?
no.
I'm a blonde. I can say that.
All right. Let me take a look here. The problem with not starting, might try a couple of things. Blah blah blah. Yada yada yada. Let's see. Small button on the logic board. Yes, this is a Mac. We don't call them motherboards. And the moment I read that was the moment I decided I will forever call this a motherboard.
Well, there's also the daughter board that you have put on top of it.
Oh, there's the analog board. Let's see. Five at Dune writes in both kinds. Country, Western, and shit.
Wow.
Country and Western.
And then Dude said, I think you're right, logic maybe yet. So yes. So if you don't have a battery on the motherboard, it might act funny. And so I have noted, and the battery, I did confirm it is absolutely dead. And it's absolutely dead without leaking or corroding. So I got lucky on that one. I believe this iMac came out of a school. And I believe this iMac was replaced with another iMac because this iMac came to me inside of an Indigo iMac box. So teacher got a new Indigo iMac, and the old Bondi Blue went in the Indigo box, and it got stored, and then it got sent off to the reseller more recently, I guess, when the school emptied out their basement. And no, they did not wipe this. And so, yes, I have some teachers' dissertation about ADHD and diet and the connection between those two things right on here. So we could do some reading, some light reading.
And what you could do is you could see if there's an email address on there and send her your email. I got your old computer. The school didn't wipe out the machine.
Would you like a copy
By
of
the
your
way,
paper?
send me $1,000 worth of Bitcoin, and I won't share the coin that you made.
Do you guys know how much that's worth right now?
He does have a taste.
$1,000.
He does. Yeah. Basically, the only thing that's on here is his documents. There's no student documents. There's no student information. There's no addresses. There's nothing like that. Although I think Dune's kind of right to react.
There's not an email tool?
No. I did not find any relevant email information on here. There is a browser. There is Netscape Communicator, but the Netscape email client has nothing. The Outlook Express email client has nothing. I've not found any real compromising data. Not that I would share that. The only thing I found is that, yes, I have the name of the teacher whose computer this is, and yes, I did find a tasteless joke on here that he typed out. I don't know
it's a guy.
Yeah.
That's even funner.
And yeah, I don't know if you know that joke that Norm Macdonald tells about the professor of logic, and how that works.
No.
Oh well, that a version of that joke is written on here. But yeah, Dune's holy crapping the school computer not wiped landing on my desk here to show the world. Yeah, but actually, here's the thing. I don't know if it really came out of a school or if it was a school teacher's computer. But then again, it was like marked with his name on the box as if an IT company reboxed it and stored it and put his name on it. Because generally, I don't put my name on my old things that I box up to put in the basement. But, I'm making a lot of assumptions here. I really don't know. I'm filling in blanks. I'm making up stories. I'm making up crap. So let's not... Dune wants to Facebook the dude. He's got a common name. His first name is John, but let's say it's Jake. No.
Of course it's Jake.
Oh, wait. That's not the game. We just don't give his last name and we're
And
cool.
the last name is Smith.
So once the computer gets in the state that it won't turn on, if I push the reset button on the motherboard, it'll turn on again. And what I've read is that these things will act funky when the motherboard battery is dead, which motherboard battery is dead. It did not corrode the contacts, so I got lucky there. And the replacement battery arrived today. So we're going to open this thing up and put the battery in is what we're going to do.
Oh.
And also, you've probably noticed that, yes, the drawer to the CD-ROM drive was hanging by a thread, and that thread broke. And I do have that drawer here. There's actually like one tiny little plastic nub that has a screw hole in it that one of the screws underneath screws in through. And that's what holds it in place. But that's okay because the CD-ROM drive needs to be replaced anyways. And like I mentioned earlier, I have 10 replacement CD-ROM drives on their way here. So I'm going to be getting in the business of reselling CD-ROM drives real soon. Anyways,
Cup holders.
Let's turn this off.
Cup holders, right?
Cup holders. Yes, I could sell them as cup holders.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
Ain't
Dune
that
wants me
special?
to do this with it plugged in. Well, I mean, heck, the first thing I got to do to get the motherboard out is disconnect the cables, so which is basically like yanking out the power cord. So, no, there's no doing it with it turned on anyways. That's not really an option even if I want it to be. All right. So let's
Well, of
put
course,
this...
if you're going to solder the leads to the capacitors, you want to have the thing turned on.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Of course. All right, let's put this thing on its back.
No, do all your
That's a
capacitors
side.
say the
That's the top.
Top, back, whatever. See, this is where the second camera with the adjustable arm comes in. This will also be handy when working on the house on the weekends. So Dune has that to look forward to.
How long is the arm?
Long enough. You can see the arm here from the bigger camera. Okay, like on Zoolander, the files are in the computer. Yes.
Oh.
So, anyways.
Oh, is that the gooseneck that's on the clamp to the back of, to the desk?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
Tiny camera.
yeah, that's the camera I used to use as my main camera, but I replaced it with the upgraded version of this camera, which is the same resolution but looks so much better.
So did that camera come with that gooseneck?
No, separate purchases. So
And the gooseneck came from Amazon?
yes.
I take
So-
it it's called and it's specific for camera, so it's a camera gooseneck
Or
video gooseneck.
I could tweet you a link after the show if you like.
That's even better.
Okay. So this one screw here takes off this plastic piece on the bottom. And we got to start prying here a
And the
little
whole
bit.
damn thing flies apart.
No, just the bottom part.
And it's kind of like a clamshell operation. Is there an actual clam inside it?
Well, I haven't found one yet, but I haven't gone into the analog side where the CRT is.
Or has the clamp been dead for years?
Maybe. All right, so
By
there's
the way,
that.
if there is a big capacitor in there, be careful because it can zap you.
Yeah, no, I know how to discharge a CRT, and we're not going to get that far into this today. We're only going to take out the motherboard. So we got
He
4.
says today. There's a chance.
Motherboard.
Oh, I'm going to have to replace the flyback transformer.
Look at
on
that.
this
On the
eventually.
inside there are these
are you?
cables.
Yeah.
Is that
And
the cable for the monitor?
this one here, yes, this is the cable for the monitor, because this.
You know, why do they spend $5 on a cable when they could have wired it directly?
Well, because
For repairing, Brian.
For repairs?
yeah, you could swap
Why?
out the mother.
Are these things repairable? Is there an
Yes.
old Apple
Yeah.
repairman?
Well, if you want to
They,
take
in
out
their
the
day, they
mainboard-
were.
Yeah, if you want to take out the main board and get a swap.
A lot of the information that I'm finding about this computer is coming from internal Apple repair documentation on how to service these, how to test and service these things. Now the problem is that once you determine which part is bad, like the CD-ROM drive, the repair is to get a replacement CD-ROM drive, not chase down the problem inside the CD-ROM drive and replace that capacitor or that laser head. So you're limited. It's kind of like, trying to work on antique TVs by reading repair manuals from in the day, because at some point the answer is replace it with a part that you can't buy anymore. So you have to dig a little further in as you get to unreplaceable things.
I have a question, Gators. The CD-ROM, I know you're having problems with it.
Yeah.
Is it an actual tray that pops out, or is it a slot?
It's a tray.
It's a tray. Can you put like just a Lighton drive in there and do it with the pattern? On it?
I mean, it is a standard connector that connects the drive, but the drive was also sized to fit into this thing. So maybe now, mind you, these cables are pretty tight, so I've not been able to connect the motherboard with this pulled out. So rigging some kind of a bench version of this would probably involve getting my hands on Apple power supplies. If I had 3 boxes of random Apple computer parts in my basement, I could work on this thing like I work on a PC.
Well,
grab
the reason I ask is maybe if you didn't want to put another part in it, if you could find the exact size or something and see what people use for replacement drives or something besides Apple ones. But I know you want to go as original as possible. So.
I want to go as original as possible. And I'll you know what? We'll jump to this since I'm getting a lot of questions about
I'm
it.
sorry about that. I didn't mean to change. I know you were
No. Brian asked 20 times and you asked once. So that's
I'm sorry. I was looking for my Bletcher, so
all right, so I'm going to share my screen, and I went searching for a replacement drive, and I found this eBay Buy It Now, which is a list of 10 Apple CDR 24X CD-ROM drives.
Oh,
and as
you
you
need 10 of them, Gators?
Well, I couldn't find a single one. Now, it was all 10 for $150 and free shipping, so that's $15 a drive.
Wait, you know what that is? That's so if you want to buy one for each color.
Yeah, well, I mean, and they have multiple colors here. Like that one's
See?
strawberry. These
See?
two are green or blue. These are tangerine. That's a blue. That's a strawberry.
Plate is that color?
Yeah, the button on the front plate has the color of the side. Now the thing is,
so you want to select the right color and then you sell the other ones independently.
well, the thing is I'm not even 100% sure that the right color is in here, because these are the newer model of these drives that would have come on a revision C or D, and revision C and D didn't come in Bondi blue. However,
Do you think that the newer drive will work in your old machine?
Apple doesn't think so, but I do.
Well, like I said, it's probably the one you got to worry about is the length of the drive itself. So,
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Apple's documentation specifically states that the Bondi Blue Revision A and D use this part number, and the Revision C or D use this model, and not to order the wrong model, or it may result in data loss. However, I couldn't find any of the Bondi Blue models.
Question.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes. Okay.
How are you going to lose data on a CD?
if you're copying a file off a CD to your hard drive, it may not copy properly.
Not actually right.
A data transmission error is probably what they mean.
Data transmission error, because data loss is like, I lost the data on the CD. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was worded as data loss, could result in data loss, but which is clunky wording. But okay, it's Apple. You know, they can only be so intelligent. But anyways, even if I don't, the thing is some of these buttons look like they're Bondi blue. So I don't even know if they're all the same model or not, because I can't really zoom in on that text. I kind of can. I don't know, but I think they're all the newer model. But then again, maybe I could just swap lasers from one of these onto one of mine if I tear them apart and completely destroy them in the process.
What about, do you have a Bondi blue nail polish?
Well, no, if it comes to that, actually, the button is a detachable part that slides out rather easily. So I can take the Bondi blue button out of this and put it into the front tray on one of those.
Oh, there you go.
Pretty easily. And I found a forum post from a guy that worked on these back in the day, and he said, we replaced them with the newer CD-ROM drive all the time. No one ever brought one back. So people who were in the field that were servicing these say they're interchangeable. Apple says they're not. Both very valid opinions from people that ought to know what they're talking about. But this was available, and like I said, this was sold as it came from an estate sale, and they haven't tested it, so they're being sold for parts are not working, as you may have noticed there. But these look like still sealed in their original packs, leftover parts. I think there's a good chance at least one of these still works. And I think there's a good chance that more than one of these works. And I think there's a good chance I can get more than $15 each for working ones if I turn around and flip them after testing them on this. So that is why I did the buy it for 10 drives I only need one of. Because I figure maybe I could break even on this if I sell the extra working ones as tested and working. Anyways, so that's the story with the CD-ROM drive, and that's where that's going to go. But until we get there, we got 2 screws to take out here now that we got our plastic cover off. Okay. And then we can slide our motherboard out. So we'll just get to work with the screwdriver here. And the first screw I took out actually has a clip to hold it into the cover there, so I don't have to worry about losing that screw. But these 2 screws I'm going to want to put down someplace where I'm not going to lose them.
Do you have a magnetic mat or something you use?
I'll just throw them into my Ziploc baggie here with the CD-ROM tray and pieces. Ziploc bags are good to have handy to sort out parts, because I usually lay out screws on my desk, and I lay them out in the same order I took them out so that they can go back in the same hole they came out of, because, I don't want to turn this thing into a screw orgy. And then at some point, I pull the wire, and it sweeps across all the screws and flings them all onto the floor. And that's when you find out how many expletives I can say in a very short period of time.
Well, I saw you installing stuff that needs the wall plates. I know when you can't find screws.
Oh, yeah. All right, so there we go. And once you take those 3 screws, and you can slide this right out. That was 1 screw for that plastic cover and 2 screws that were holding this in. And there we go. We got ourselves an iMac motherboard.
Hey, you don't even have a ribbon cable that's going to screw up on you.
No. I mean, well, the hard drive and CD-ROM drive are also in this compartment here. Right over here is the CD drive, which is kind of locked in place, spring-loaded. If you push that back, you can slide that up. And then there's a ribbon cable behind that. And the hard drive's underneath that. Underneath this cage is where there's a daughter board that comes off and the processor comes off. I probably should take the heatsink off and put a little touch of some thermal paste on there. I can upgrade the RAM.
That sucker's crusted on.
Yeah, so I'll probably be doing that real soon. But anyways, this little plastic compartment here is where that battery goes that I put down.
Is it one of the stupid watch batteries?
No, it's a little, like, miniaturized, short, fat, AA type of thing.
Oh. Can you just solder a couple cables, to it, and put like
In other words, it's a cylinder, right?
Yeah, it's
how many volts is it? Does it say?
like 3.6 or something like that.
Okay, so you can't just solder a freaking double A on it or something.
No, it's 3.6. Maybe
But
all right.
there's a regular part number though for it, right?
Yeah, that's how I was able to look it up and buy one. All right, so that goes in positive towards me right now. All right, so we're gonna
Oh,
go
is this
ahead.
a new battery or an old one?
This is the new one. The old one
Ooh.
was dead without corrosion.
This is exciting.
So there we go. New battery is in.
Now, is the old one lithium?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's probably why.
This is so exciting.
All right. I think that's on there, right? There we go. There we go. Click the plastic cage in. Now, just in case doing this made things out of whack, I'm going to hit that reset button once. And that reset button is over here. And one thing I read is if you go to press this button, don't press it twice because that can cause whatever pushing the button does to crash. And I guess then you'd have to push it a third time.
What?
I don't
It's
know.
like in every other button?
Maybe.
Wow. What if you just keep randomly pushing the button?
Well, that's probably not good for the
I
machine.
mean, like the guy in Golden Eye at the very end where he had the pen that's going to explode. He's talking about click, switch, click.
No,
Oh yeah, you had to click it 3 times or something.
I think it's more like the garage door opener in Bingo.
Oh.
Now he's hamburger. Now he's not. Now he's hamburger. Now he's not.
Oh.
You all didn't see Bingo?
I did not see before Bingo.
It's-
Wait, is this like Chirpy? Do I need to? Should I not be watching this?
no. There was a movie called Bingo about a dog named Bingo, and it was a light.
Bingo.
Yeah, exactly. And it was a light-hearted comedy. And at some point, and the family,
And
the
he
father was
pushed the
kid-
button 3 times and it exploded.
Well, what happened was the kid who's secretly owning the dog. His father is a kicker for the football team, and some bad guys found out about this, so they kidnapped him and tied him to a bomb to hold him for the ransom. Being that
This is the kid or the dog?
they held the kid for ransom. The ransom being for the father to throw the game so that they can bet a lot of money on the opposite team.
It's like Ace Ventura Pet Detective.
Yeah, but with a dog and without Jim Carrey.
What about Finkel and Einhorn? Are they on there?
No, there's no.
Did the father actually was a female and then became a male? And
Bingo has no chicks with dicks, unfortunately.
Okay, just wondered.
And there's no Big Bird.
There's no Captain Winky.
There's no Captain Winky.
And no Bigfoot.
No Bigfoot.
What about a dolphin? Is there a dolphin in it?
And there is absolutely no treasure. Let's get that straight.
What?
Hey,
What?
tonight's episode, they're supposed to find
No.
actual gold. Actual gold.
Wait, Brian.
I haven't watched it yet.
Okay. Wait. Gators?
Yes.
Oh, man.
The battery. That was the treasure. The battery you have for your computer. That was the treasure. That will actually make things work.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's lithium instead of gold.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to turn on the computer. We're going to see if it still turns
Wait,
on.
do
We're
you
going
have
to
to put
set
the
the
motherboard
clock.
back in?
Yeah, I got to put that back in.
Okay. Wait, you have
You're going to power down first, though?
Wait, is it going to
no.
go past 2020?
And why does pushing the button make any difference when the power is off?
I don't
Clears
know.
the capacitors.
I'm not a Mac person. I don't
Probably
understand
clears
how
the
these
capacitors.
stupid things work.
Yeah.
I just know that sometimes when I unplug and plug back in, this thing gets in a funky state, and the way to get it out is to push a button, and pushing a button involves tearing this all apart again. So I wanted to kind of do a preemptive button push.
Wow.
Now maybe I messed things up worse by pushing the button, and maybe I'll have to push it again. I don't know yet. But we gotta line this up.
So Mars,
What?
what do you think the odds when he plugs it in that starts smoking?
Depends. Can that Mac handle the great power of a battery of 3 point something volts?
That on top of all that AC power could be just the bit to
Just enough.
Just
to,
enough
to smoke the CRT. Now, did you plug the CRT back in?
Well, I didn't unplug the CRT. I didn't go.
Okay.
This is workable that you can take out the motherboard without going anywhere where you can reach the analog components. That's on the that's separate from this.
Okay.
So right now we're not touching anything high voltage. We're not touching anything to do with the display. The closest we're getting to the display is this connector here, which uses an old school Mac video connector, which if you buy a video to VGA connector, you could totally hook this up to a VGA monitor.
I have a couple of those actually.
And use that.
Yeah, I have a couple of those.
I'd have one, but Amazon's out of stock on those right now, but they're coming back in stock real soon. And so I'll put that order in.
What is that connector called? Is it a D connector or something?
It's 15 pin. It's got a
15
name.
to VGA, or I have a couple.
But
I have
is
one
it
that
DIN
does,
though?
Yeah.
It's not DIN. It's
No,
I don't know.
It's like you know what? It's a short printer port. It's a short LPT. That's what it looks like, or a very long VGA on one side.
All right, we're just gonna put these screws back in here.
No, I mean not a DIN, but a D connector.
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, it's not an F.
Really...
It's not an F connector.
Well, that's only when things don't work.
Yeah. So
Fudge,
all right.
fudge connector.
Fudge connector. Okay. These screws sometimes have a little trouble getting started. in
Dune,
their
are you
holes.
taking notes so you can follow at home? Because I know you have 2 or 3 of these at home, right? In the closet.
I think Dune started buying these when they were coming with the LCDs. And so basically Dune had a few completely worthless, beautiful LCDs in his closet is what he had.
Wow.
Because that's what happens when you buy an all-in-one unit like this. Mind you, I bought this computer to hate it because, you know, I have very logical reasons for my hatred of Mac. I think this design is awful. I mean, they sacrifice functionality for design. I mean, yeah, it looks pretty, but one of the things that these are really well known for is overheating because the ventilation is poor on them. Mm-hmm. That's why the flyback transformers are failing on them so frequently now. Mind you, this is late 90s, early 2000s. Most TVs from the late 90s, early 2000s, they're still turning on. They're not, and if they're dead, it's not the flyback transformer. But these things are notorious for the flyback transformers going because of the heat.
Would it be easy to add some ventilation or maybe even an active fan?
Yeah, I say a Dremel tool, and it might fix some of the problems.
Well, I mean, the thing is as much as I hate these design flaws, the other thing is that this is what it is, and I'm playing with it for what it is, and I'm not looking to change what it is, but that doesn't make me like the functional design of it any better. I appreciate its place in history, and I mean, yeah, it kind of looks iconic, but I'm still going to gripe about the design features that piss me off, and this gives me a chance to better appreciate my dislike of this machine.
Are you gonna buy the original? Are you gonna buy a Mac Classic next? The one that's all in one too, the squarey one.
I don't know. I might. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna fix this up. I'm gonna fix this up.
Do you have any history with the classic Mac, Johnny?
Not really. Then
why would you want one?
Because
you like to get stuff that you actually use. You know, actually, a friend of mine swapped from Windows machines. I think it was pretty sure it was to get one of those. And then a couple years later, without saying anything, he got a PC again.
What? Now, are you putting it back together? Are you sticking the bottom back on now?
Yeah, I am, and I got the one screw to put that back in.
Did you put the other 2 screws in that were in the baggie?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
And it's just that easy. Well, I mean, in grammar school or in grade school, we did have Apple IIe's in the classroom, so I have
Oh,
some.
yeah,
lemonade
that's
stand
the
on 'em?
best Apple II out there, right?
So I have some connection to classic Apples, not classic Macs, but classic Apples, anyways.
Yeah.
So but those are pretty expensive, and what can I really do with them?
You put a lemonade stand on it.
I think I dropped my power cord.
Uh-oh.
All right, so
Did you find your power cord?
I did. It was on the
Good.
floor. So now to find out if this turns on and if we can set the date and if we can unplug it and plug it back in and it still remembers the date.
It may not go past like 1998. I don't know.
I think it can. I mean, it came out in 98, so it'd have to go.
Are they Y2K compatible?
It came out 2 years before, so I would think so. These things were...
Never make an assumption like that, buddy.
No, Gators. I actually had to update Windows NT 4 in my lab because they weren't 2K compatible. The OS wasn't.
Well, I mean, the OS might be the problem. And this being the revision A, it came with Mac OS 8.1. And whoever had this computer did not update it beyond Mac OS 8.1.
Did you update it to 9?
Well, I would have updated it to 8.5.1, but the CD-ROM drive wouldn't work.
Do you have a USB one?
It won't boot to USB, but I found guides online on how to manually do things from the open firmware, but then I can't get things onto a USB drive because my...
Okay.
in order to get files onto a Mac format USB drive, I need to be able to get those files onto a Mac, and I need a USB drive to. There's a hole in my bucket, dear Liza. Okay. So, but we're working on that. CD-ROM drives are on the way here, and maybe I'll. All right, we got it plugged in. We got it connected. Let's hit our power button. And
Smoke.
there's the chime.
Smoke.
White smoke, new pope. No smoke. No smoke. Just a apple chime.
So you didn't let the evil spirits out yet.
And there we go. Button turned green. Trap is clean. The screen should... Oh, there comes the screen with its lovely lines a flicker.
Huh.
Mac OS. There we go.
Hey, it actually says Mac OS.
Yes.
Actually, can you connect it to the internet and do an update through the thing, or it won't do that? There was an internet update.
I did get this connected to the internet. I can't find a place to go check for updates, so I don't know if that just wasn't a thing
there's
in
an
8.1.
update thingy in the bar.
No, I could not find an update thingy anywhere on this.
Oh, okay.
I really couldn't. Anyways, I'm gonna
Check
have
with
to
Google.
angle this so that I can see what I'm doing.
Oh.
Because right now it says it's 8:47 a.m.
Well,
Which
somewhere maybe.
So I was telling you while you're kind of dorking with that. So I was telling you that I had this machine. I had Debian on it. This was
Where's
Jesse,
my-
I think.
Oh, Jesse.
Debian 8, and so it dorked the GUI, but I could go in with SSH. And I go, let me pull some files off of it. There aren't that many. So I popped in a drive that I knew was formatted for Linux, and I copied the files to it, right? There it is. Wonderful. Perfect. Shut the machine down, pull the stick out. After this upgrade was done, or reinstall with Debian 10, I popped the thing in there. Oh, and it only sees one folder, and that was the folder that was already there, which is RetroPie.
Oh,
so it is right now 8:48 a.m. August 27th, 1956.
wow.
That was a good year.
Wow.
And clicking on the clock does not give me an option to change the time. So Now
Can
I
you
gotta
right
What
click
made
on
you
it?
think that would work?
Can you command click on it?
right click. How cute. All right, let's try
No,
command
no,
click.
Gators. Command click is right click.
Command click does the same thing as a click.
How about an option click? Do you have an open apple, closed apple?
No, I have an open Apple command and an Alt option.
No, maybe it's
Now, Alt option makes the clock disappear. So I no longer
Good
have
one.
I have fixed the problem with the wrong time displaying on the screen.
How about
Let's
if you
see.
connect to the internet? Does it automatically update from the internet?
No. So let's take a look what we got in the control panel menu. Appearance, Apple menu options, Apple Talk, auto
Hello,
remounter,
Google.
color sync, control strip, date and time. There we go. All right, so now let's go ahead and let's see if we can get a 4-digit year on this to try to. No, it doesn't let us. Let's. There we go. Show century. Oh, there we go. All right, so now we're going to make this. Let's see. It is 11-08-2021. 1921? No, 2021. 1921.
Nice. Well, not like to get into the 2000s.
Oh, because it could go to 2000. All right, let's count up from 2000. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh, it can only go to 2019.
That's funny.
Oh, we're going to have to update the OS on this. This is, yeah.
Funny.
Good one.
Yeah.
Planned obsolescence.
Yeah, so it is going to be, I guess they want it to keep a 2-digit date, but set it to go back to the 1920s and up to the foreseeable future of this computer. And no one imagined that Johnny Gators would dig one of these out and play around with it in 2021.
Who would think that you pull one out of the dumpster?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so it is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 23, 24. Set time zone. All right, Abu Dhabi. No. Let's see. Do we got New York in here? Moscow, New York. Here we go. All right, we click OK, and
There's no New Jersey?
And it adjusted the time to 4 p.m. for my convenience. Eastern time for New York City. You know, it goes by bit. Whatever, Brian. Okay. So it is November 8th, 1921, 9:24 p.m. We've got that about. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to set the date format to not show the century anymore since it shows it wrong anyways. And that way it'll look right to me. For now.
So you're setting it to 1921?
Yes, but since I set it to show a 2-digit year.
Is the leap year going to be all fucked up?
Oh, yeah. And the days of the week, that's all going to be fucked up. But at least when I click on the clock, the date's going to look fine. That's the best I could do for now. Is there? It says 11/8/21, and that
what
19.
day of the week is it showing?
Well, it doesn't. So that'll just be yours and mine little secret.
Shh, we won't tell.
But now for the real test, let's turn it off. Shut down. And
Is it gonna be upset that the date is before it was actually made?
Well, it came up saying it was 1956, so I think it'll be fine.
Really?
All right, so now we've pulled the plug. Dune writes in, "Wait, I got it." All right, what does Dune got here? What does Dune got?
What?
Dune's got something.
What do you got, Dune?
All right, so we're going to leave that unplugged because, mind you, I do not leave this computer plugged in when I'm not using it. Why? Because the CRT is making noise.
It sits there and hums with the power off?
Set it to 11:58 p.m. December 31st, 2019. Oh my God! Yes, we have to do that. We have to watch.
It's gonna just shut off on you. It's gonna say, "I'm sorry, you're not coming back up again. Too bad."
I think it's gonna set itself to 1920. My money's on it. Just sets itself to 1920 and continues on. It's gonna be completely boring.
Yeah.
or
but-
that would crash.
But
That would be a great experiment.
But maybe we'll get a crash. All right.
Maybe you'll get what did they have? Bouncing beach balls or something? Is that what they had? Or a bomb? There was a bomb on one of them.
All right. Well,
its crash was a bomb.
I think the old before OS 10 was a bomb, but I can't remember.
now ModPro writing in that Dune should call in, which yes, that very well could be done. And notice I have the fader turned up for the Skype channel and no noise because I bought an optic.
Holy crap!
I bought an optic to RCA converter box, and I'm now using the optical output of the onboard sound card on the tower for my Skype send. So no more audio interference on that cheap, crappy output. All right, so far I was able to pull the plug it back in, and turn it on with no problem, which usually when I unplug, plug it back in, and try to turn it on, it eventually would give me a problem until it sat overnight. So this is a good sign that I already did this once with no problem, and maybe the lithium-ion battery cleared up that issue. It still says it's 9:27 p.m., so it's held the time.
Yay.
So that is good, and it still says it's 11:08:21.
Time to change it.
So now we're going to do the Dune's idea here, and we're going to go to the date and time in the control panel, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to set this to December 31st, 1919. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to set the date to show the century so we can see that century change happen. And we're going to go ahead. We're going to set this to 9, 10, 11. 58 p.m. So here we go. We're going to get ready to watch the turn of the century.
Do you have the Jeopardy music? You know, the Final Jeopardy music?
Well, let's see. Let's see what I have handy in 2 minutes' time. I have.
You're a dumbass.
No, that's.
But that's not appropriate.
This.
Are
There
we
we
doing
go.
dollar bin specials?
No, we're
Did I
doing
miss
dollar.
something?
We're doing dollar bin computers, is what we're doing here.
Oh, yeah.
So-
You know what? That's an expensive dollar bin for as much as you spend on that navigators. You could have bought a pretty decent machine for all the money you
I
spent
got it
now.
for $1.20. Just put the decimal place wherever you want to in that figure.
Yeah.
So, It is now 11:59 p.m. on December 31st, 2019, according to this computer, and we're just waiting for the clock to change to 12 o'clock p.m. here. So let me see how our camera angle is on that. I mean, yeah, it's on there. You should be able to see that in the corner there. Let's go. There we go. So we're waiting for the 12 o'clock moment here. That's what we're gonna do. And maybe if we're lucky, we'll get a fun little crash.
The bomb.
Maybe we'll get the bomb. Maybe we'll get the, oh my god, it's the end of the world as we know it. I don't feel so fine about this. So, we're just waiting.
So Gators, I have to ask you a question.
Oh, it just turned 12.
Okay.
Your question?
Oh no, what did it do?
It went to January 1st, 2020.
What?
What? It won't let me set the date in 2020, but it will cross over to 2020. Okay, this was not as boring as I thought it was going to be.
Wow, look at that.
Now, can I go later into 2020 now
Can you
that
imagine we got people on here betting to see what it'd do, and someone
Oh.
just got the big pot,
uh,
the unexpected.
yeah, Lau, why would you take dude's advice? He breaks things.
What?
Oh snap! Boom! All right, let's see what we could do with it in this state now, because now we've got into a state that we can't set it in, but it put it there. So if I go to January 2nd, 2020, it sets back to 1920. Huh.
Oh.
So I think the only way I could manage to set the clock on this would be to
Probably
repeat
update
it.
the odds. Oh.
I'm trying to think how I could do that. If I keep forwarding the clock to 11:59 and keep advancing it a date at a time, I could eventually get this advanced to November 8th, 2021. And then at that point, I would basically just set it to midnight at midnight. Set the clock. Well, I set the clock to the right time once I got it to the right day.
Yeah.
So that's what I could do. So we could go ahead and we could set this back to 11:59, and we're going to go ahead and close that, and we're going to do it again. Is what we're going to do, and should be changing real soon here. January 1st, 2020. So
There you go.
now.
Cue the
Now-
music, right?
Now, if I go back to the date and time, and I leave it on January 1st, 2020, and I set this back to 11:59 and 59 seconds, and we I wonder if could I make the clock? There it goes. So now it's January 2nd. So that's what I have to do. I have to set it
God.
one day at a time. One day at a time, one day at a time, la 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 la. That's what that TV show was all about. It was all about
Yes,
setting the
but-
date on an iMac in 2021.
Except it was what, 80s?
Yeah, well, it was very. I mean, one day at a time is well known for being very ahead of its time, right? And I think that was.
Yeah.
So there we go. We're
Yeah.
on January 3rd. 59, 59. There we go. January. Oh, it didn't do it. Okay.
What's it do?
There we go. Now we're on January 4th. So if we keep at this, I think, by the end of the week, we should have this set properly.
Oh, there you go.
One day at a time.
Gators, I had one question for you. You know the dollar bin special music you use?
Yes.
Did you get that in the dollar bin?
No, I got that on the line for free.
Oh, I was hoping it would be $1. That would have been. Oh
I-
my God, that breaks the whole magic.
You know,
Should've
I'm-
said yes.
I have not bought that version of that song in a dollar bin, but I've bought the Spike Jones version on 78 for $1.
That sort of counts.
That sort of counts.
You know what? Why don't you? You should play that one day. Except you will get marked on
So-
Twitch for that one though.
So, anyways, doing running in WoW, this has to be on YouTube. I will have to at some point edit this segment out, and I'll just post this on its isolation. By the way, I am simulcasting to both the Johnny Gators and the Computer Bar YouTube channels. So if you're not following both of those channels or any of those channels, Computer Bar is a channel I made specifically for vintage computer stuff. Didn't do as much with it as I thought I was going to. Didn't get much attention over there. But since this is computer related and StreamYard can simulcast to multiple YouTube channels, I figure why not? So I'll
And then
probably
just as kind of an appendix to the whole deal,
Mhm.
do you remember the old Windows machines? I think the earliest Windows machines that had blackjack. The way to win would be to lose on purpose, but bet a negative number.
That's cheating.
It's not cheating if it lets you do it.
Exactly.
That
The
is
computer knows the rules.
absolutely not cheating. It is playing by now. Brian, you ever heard the old quality control, the computer programming quality control joke?
You might as well say it.
Okay. Well, there was a bar that was going to be opened. And so it was going to be an automated bar where a customer come in and order, what they order. So, it went through quality control check. They ordered a beer. They ordered 5 beers. They ordered a whiskey. They ordered 10 whiskeys. They ordered 10,000 whiskeys. They ordered 20,000 beers. They ordered 0 beers. They ordered 0 whiskey. They ordered -5 beers. They ordered -5 whiskey. They ordered a lizard. They went through every scenario, debugged everything they could have. And finally they determined this is ready for launch. We have the appropriate responses to everything. No one's going to negative bet in blackjack and walk away robbing this place,
Right.
even though it's a bar and not a
They
casino.
did their diligence.
So the bar opens. First guy walks in the front door, walks up to the bar. How can we help you? Where's the bathroom? The bar burns down to fiery flames, killing everyone inside.
Because
Because they didn't test for that. They had no one thought at all about someone coming up to the bar and asking for a bathroom. They tested ordering invalid things, ordering drinks, ordering different quantities or numbers. No one thought about other erroneous requests like that. You've not heard that one?
no.
Ah. You didn't laugh at that one. I don't guess that wasn't as funny as I thought. I think it's hilarious.
I thought
Oh,
it was
it's
a great
hilarious.
that was a great programming joke.
Yeah. Anyways, one thing I want to test is I was trying to get USB drives working on this so I could back up the data before I try wiping the drive. Although this was before I determined that the the CD-ROM drive was dead. And I was putting all my USB drives in with an exFAT format, and it was not recognizing them, but it wasn't even giving me an option to format this. Mod Pro running in, which iMac is this? From the 80s? No, this is the first model of iMac. The iMac Bondi Blue Revision A, which came out in 98. So, yeah, not the 80s. But, anyways, I'm going to grab another USB drive.
All right.
So this USB drive I formatted on my Mac Mini to use an Apple format or a Mac format that, and I used the format that was recommended in the guide I was reading on how to install an OS from USB from the open firmware screen, which I've not gotten to the point of testing because I've not been able to get the install disks onto this drive. But this drive is Mac formatted. And so now I want to see if the iMac will recognize it, because the iMac wasn't saying this drive is a bad format, reformat now. It was saying we can't work with this device. So I think it might be a problem that all my USB keys just don't have appropriate drivers, USB drivers to work with Mac OS 8.1. It's kind of like I run into problems getting my thumb drives to work in Windows 98 because it goes, hey, there's no driver here.
So, I have a question, Gators.
Okay.
Can you take the hard drive out of the Mac, make a copy of it, and then try to put use it and try to put the actual installation files on it or something? That way?
Well, these are things that people with spare Macs and spare Mac parts would do. I don't have anything to connect this drive to. This is the only machine I have I can connect anything to. My Mac Mini is a pretty enclosed system that I don't even want to think about what would happen if I open that thing up. And the only reason I have that is to run one piece of software.
Well, no, don't you? Is that hard drive in there? Is it just PATA or is it a different type of connector?
It's got a ribbon connector on it. But I don't think it's just a strict IDE. I think it's I think the hard drive is powered over the ribbon cable. So I might be able to get an adapter. I don't know if it's IDE or related to IDE at all, or if it's something proprietary to Apple, probably proprietary because Apple
Probably.
did that stupid
Yeah,
bullshit.
because early Apple IIs,
Can
when you're talking about the floppy drive, they would strip off the logic board of the floppy drive and do it. You have the software
does
move
that
the
Mac
heads
have
and
fire?
shit.
Gators, does that Mac have FireWire on it?
No, FireWire. This is the worst iMac you could get. I mean, it
'Cause I'm
is
thinking 'cause
revision
there-
A.
Because there are some iMacs, and I don't know how early this started, but you could actually boot it up in USB mode and use your Mac as a hard drive. That's why I was trying to figure that one out
Yeah,
too.
these are. That's the thing, is that they're really not designed to boot on USB. I don't even think that was a consideration when these were built. And the FireWire ones, you could boot over FireWire, but you can't boot with USB. But then again, the whole you can't. There's some asterisks there because people have been documenting ways that you can do things with USB, but it involves typing commands into the open firmware console. But the thing is I can't even get any of my thumb drives to be recognized by this machine. So I don't think my open firmware is going to recognize these thumb drives either, because I just put this in and it is Mac formatted off of my Mac Mini, and it says the unknown device cannot operate because it needs more power than is available. Oh, that's different. Well, maybe if I don't plug it in through the keyboard, maybe if I plug it in directly. The software needed to use the device Nano Pro cannot be found. Please refer to the device documentation to install the necessary software. So, yeah, no, this computer is mostly useless, really. It's really only...
It doesn't have a floppy, it's just CD, huh?
Right.
That's right.
And even if it had a floppy. Now, mind you, one of the things this thing came with was it came with 2 external floppy drives, which were very common to use with these. And I think they're the type of floppy drives that they'll accept the standard floppy, but they also accept some sort of super floppy or something like that. One of them's got a bad cable.
The super disc?
Yeah, the super disc. I have 2 super disc drives, but one's got a busted cable where all the pins broke off, but the other one looks fine. But no power cord with them. So I'd have to get, it'd probably take a universal power.
Don't they power off the Mac itself, or do you need a power for it?
No, you need a power cord for it. But it's a pretty universal, one of those round pin connectors. So I could grab my universal power supply, dial it into the right voltage and polarity, get the right tip on there. And I could get one of those super disk drives working on here probably if it still works. But then I got to get discs for that.
Well, you said you already ordered the CD-ROMs.
Yeah, I ordered the 10 drives for $150. That's $15 a drive, and I'm going to sell the extras.
So they'll show up pretty soon then.
Yeah.
And then you can just try to do it that way.
Yeah, I'm going to try to do it that way. Dune saying he said super floppy. Yeah.
Yes, the super. No,
It's a-
you don't want super floppy. No.
It's super disc, and the discs are floppy. I think super floppies are perfectly acceptable.
Gators, they're not really floppy. They're hard.
I'm going to use the super floppies to install stuff on the Mac motherboard.
He's going to try to insert the super floppy.
I'm going to insert the super floppy, you know. I mean, to quote Joey, I just went ahead and did it anyways. But, and he did it with the right tip. Come on, power connectors. You got the tip, the adapter. Come on.
Yeah.
You know, more things than penises have tips, you know, right?
Ooh.
Wow, I didn't even say. I didn't say anything innuendo.
It was
I
implied.
don't know.
Mod Pro is laughing about me saying the right tip. I mean,
Yeah.
what?
You know what?
Good,
You know what?
remember
if
to
you
tip
hit-
your waitresses.
You know what? All Windows have tips. Just saying. Every app, you open it up, it gives you a tip, and if you want more, you hit next tip.
Now,
And
Mod
next
Pro
tip.
say super hard floppy? No, super hard floopy. All right, is there anything else we can do with this machine tonight?
Throw it in the recycling bin.
How much water can it hold?
I know. Bore out the back of the CRT, and you have a little cat screen.
That you know,
Turn it into a litter box.
I as much as I'm in favor of these things on principle of my feelings towards Macs, that's not what I bought this machine for. I bought this machine
For ProLogic,
to-
of course.
So I guess that's a Canadian expression, a super hard floopy, because ModPro says blame the Canadians.
I see.
Okay, well, I don't know what else you could do. Is there any did it come with any software on it?
Um,
Any decent?
Well, it came with ClarisWorks and Photoshop 5 LE.
Wow.
Claris works because, well, it
That's,
really doesn't.
Documents, writing,
So,
stuff like that.
of course,
Okay.
I think that registered the name of the. Oh, this I don't know who that is, but that's not the name of the person who owned the computer. We'll just go ahead and quit that.
Oops.
Let's see. This document says subfolder, lesson plan. This has got also people's names on it. We should stop opening up documents
Yeah.
on the screen. Is
Yeah.
what we should do here.
Yeah.
What kind of course did this person teach?
I don't know. I don't know a whole lot.
You didn't look at the lesson plan?
Well, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of useful information in there.
Quantum mechanics?
It's a Mac. It probably wasn't quantum mechanics. No offense, dude. No offense. I'm sorry, but
No offense, it just sucks really, really bad. Well, let's take a look.
At least that era kind of sucked.
So over here is the master's research and thesis, which is let's bring up chapter 1 here, and let's limitations of the study. The study is limited to the examination of literature reviews related to past and recent studies of diet's adverse and positive effect on those diagnosed with ADHD. The study will also interview 10 sets of parents and or guardians plus 10 special education teachers with at least 5 years experience working with elementary and middle school students diagnosed with ADHD. That's just the opening paragraph of chapter 1. So
Exciting.
I
yeah.
want to go play with Legos or something now. I don't. I know.
How do I go up a folder?
Is it command page up? Does that work?
Where's page up? Oh, here it is. Nope, that doesn't work. Isn't there a back button on here somewhere? I'll just close it, reopen. Oh, it opened up in a new folder anyway, so it's just embedded. It's just
I don't know ClarisWorks. I'm sorry.
it just opens up. Well, this isn't ClarisWorks. This is just browsing the hard drive to open up documents. Let's see. 301 observe number 1. Let's see what this says. Let's drag this up to the top.
Have you put any MP3s on? Oh, you can't put anything on it yet.
Observation number 1. Name of school, name of facilitator, Mr. Patrick, grade level or age of children involved, 35, 11, 14-year-olds, 6th through 8th grades. Amount of time, 1 period, 55 minutes. Focus of PE activity, free play, i.e. soccer, jump rope, basketball, and a lot of students standing around in little groups. Was a fitness portion presented? After attendance was taken, the class performed the Astro Drill. The Astro Drill? So this came from a middle school.
What middle school was this?
Pacific Beach Middle School.
Okay.
And you bought that in Massachusetts?
I bought it from eBay. It shipped from California, but it was from a reseller.
Okay, that explains.
But they gave a flat rate of $50 shipping.
Okay.
Observation of facilitator presenting the PE activity. Did he/she use A, demonstration? His assistant led and demonstrate the drill, then led a 1-lap jog around the grass soccer field before dismissing for free play.
Like AstroTurf.
No lecture was given. No lecture was given, just a warning about behavior. Visual aids, blank demonstration of the Astro Drill. Any other teaching techniques? None that I observed. So this is like a teacher observation document.
Oh.
Observation of PE lessons. Smooth transitions between parts of PE activity. Yes, the students were cooperative to direction. Activity appropriate for grade level. A lot of the younger and smaller students were unable to obtain contact with the manipulative devices or compete in the games. Did the children enjoy the activity? It appears to be a mixed bag. The students involved in the activities were enjoying themselves. The male students standing around the playground uninvolved didn't appear to be enjoying themselves, although the females who were in small groups talking and laughing together seemed to be enjoying their private time together.
Yeah, they didn't care what was happening at all.
Oh, gym class. Why do they waste their time with that? All right, let's take a look at another observation document here. These are comedy gold right here. And these are going to different schools. So this guy, maybe he was some kind of an administrator, not actually a
Maybe.
teacher. Ray Kroc Middle School. Wasn't that the McDonald's guy?
Yeah.
Why would he have a middle school name for him in California? That guy robbed the
Google it,
McDonald's
man.
brothers.
Google it.
Nah. All right. Grade level of children involved. 20 students, 12 to 14, 7th to 8th grades. Amount of time, 1 period, 45 minutes. Focus PE activity. Weight training. Was a fitness portion presented? Yes. The Astro drill repeated twice and a 440-yard jog before the training began. Did he or she use demonstration? Yes. They were very explicit in their instruction. They repeated weightlifting techniques 3 times before the students were allowed to use any equipment. He physically demonstrated while the other one verbally explained techniques. When the students were allowed to use the equipment, they were divided into 5 groups of 4. Both instructors were aware of all activity and consistently corrected and refined techniques. Let's find out if the students were involved. Did the children enjoy the activity? Yes, these young men really liked the idea. As Mr. M said, "We want to pump you up."
I understand that.
Wow.
You got some Hans and Franz going.
Yes.
Exactly.
So this guy seemed to observe gym classes and gym teachers' performances. Let's see, info letter work. Let's Bonita Vista Middle School. Oh, there's different schools mentioned in here.
Yeah.
This might have been with the Board of Education, not actually out of a school. But things I was reading before made me... I saw permission slip documents that were on here. So that's why I thought it was like a teacher
They went
printing
on
out...
field trips.
But maybe permission slip documentation would come from a central office, perhaps. So this must
Maybe.
be some kind of a Board of Education computer.
Maybe.
But then again, it was run by someone that was also writing a thesis paper about ADHD and diet. So that's why I thought it was more along the lines of something that a teacher would be pursuing as they further their career. But then again, I guess administrators also want to further their careers in education. A lot of them were teachers as well. Welcome back to school. Welcome to or back to school. Well, there's a typo. Let's go ahead and add a U there. There we go.
You're going to modify the document?
Well, it was incorrect. Welcome to our back to school. I fixed it for them. You're
Is it
welcome.
what you save in 2021?
So now you have to find the guy and send it to him. Like, hey, I'm offering this correction to the
That would be
document.
good if wouldn't that be great? Just out of nowhere, I find this guy's email address, send him an email with the attached document. This had a typo on it. I fixed it for you. You're welcome. Would that be just hilarious to receive that? Or would you be amused or mortified if an old work document came back to you from someone that
Is
obtained
there
your
a date
old work
on the
computer?
file? Do you know when it was done?
Probably 1998 or 1999, because this computer was replaced with an Indigo iMac, which is also pretty old. Let's read this document and then check the date. Students have the opportunity to purchase food for breakfast and lunch. The cost for breakfast is $1.50. Reduced rate is 25 cents. The cost for lunch is $2.25. Reduced rate 40 cents. Lunch and breakfast may be prepaid. Buy 10, get 11. 1 free. We encourage sending a snack for break if you feel the student will get hungry before lunch. This is boring. That's a good price. Save changes as a document? Nah, let's not. So yeah, these dates. Oh, these are dated from like 2000. Oh. Oh my God. I think I corrupted the date information on this.
Yeah, I wonder because if you save it, will it save in 2021?
I didn't save it, but I did not save. But I think I've put it in a state that it can't read the date information accurately off of these documents because it's in a invalid year. So it says that these documents were saved in 2000. 20 million 22,021.
So if you change the date back, will this come up correct?
That is a good question.
Another experiment. Look at that.
Oh
Yeah,
my goodness.
let's go ahead and set the date back to 1921. All right, there we go. And we're going to set that to. Let's get that.
And then
back
you have to restart the file manager.
I might have to restart. I don't
The whole
know.
computer?
I have never successfully fixed a Mac by rebooting it. So point
No,
for
no,
peace.
just shut off the file manager and open it up again. I didn't suggest rebooting.
Yeah, I might try. Well, yeah, but that would be my next step. Yeah, we'll
Right.
give that a try. All right, there we go. So it's set to 1921 again with the correct time now. And yeah, we'll go ahead. We'll close that. We'll close that. We'll open that. And let's open up. And no, this folder is still showing really bad dates, but I don't know if
Someone broke it.
well, it's
You have to
basically
reboot the computer.
it's basically showing 2 years combined. So I have a feeling, but that's date modified. So maybe date modified means, wow, like actually this one says date modified 1956 2021, and I don't know why it would give those 2 years.
1956. Well, 1956
Well, that was-
is when it started, but
That was the year it was defaulting to without power.
Okay. Well, I didn't break it.
No, I mean it's showing 2 years simultaneously, but I have a feeling that the 2002 2003s before the 2021s is the actual year that these were marked. So let's try rebooting now that we have a valid date set on this, and hopefully that will. I think it's just I corrupted something with how it's reading because dates are stored. Not by the actual date. They're stored by a certain number that has a central reference point, which we've messed up that central reference point that it was calculating off of. So if we hit the power button, because there's no restart option from the menu, that would make too much sense. So if we push
And
the
there's
power
no
button,
shutdown.
well, if you hit the power button. Oh, man, I am not getting... Oh, there we go. And then it gives you the window that lets you select restart. If you go under special, there's only an menu option to shut down. You have to hit the power button to get a window that comes up that gives you an option to sleep, restart, shut
now
down.
the power button on the keyboard.
Well, the power button on the keyboard didn't work this time.
Uh-oh.
All right, well, now I'm getting a folder with a question mark, which suggests it's not reading a disk. Oh, now it sees it. There it goes. This is a fun machine, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Oh, Alexa, stop.
Five at Dune writing in, could be the dude's doctorate paper. Mod Pro writing in doctorate paper. Is that English? No, well, to get your doctorate, you write a paper. And then they let you call yourself a doctor. And then if you're on an airplane and someone passes out and they say, is there a doctor on board? You could say, yes, but I'm not a medical doctor. And then everyone will hate you because you've done nothing useful. But anyways, no, our dates are still coming up corrupted here. So that is fun. And that is a good reason not to use Mac OS 8.1. So at some point, we're going to have to try to install Mac OS 8.5.1 and see if that works any better with the dates. And if not, we'll probably try to put 9.2 on here. And I think we could put some earlier versions of 10 on here. Let me pull up my document on that.
I think you put 10.4 on it, right?
I think so, something like that. Leopard, maybe. Let me see the Wikipedia page for iMac.
I think people are putting Tiger on it, but maybe.
Yeah, but that's kind of to put Tiger on a revision A or B would require patching the firmware.
Yeah.
And because if you don't patch the firmware, then the computer doesn't turn on. And there was this great video where this guy got stuck in a state where his iMac wouldn't turn on, and then he did a few steps, and then he found a guide online that explained how to fix it. And the first things that the guide said were not to do the things that he did before he found the guide.
Oops.
So that was, but he was still able to navigate through and apply the patch and get the computer to turn back on again. But he had to do some involved stuff. So I would probably, so yes, 10.4 Tiger would work with a patch, but then again, this has, I think, 96 megs of RAM. Yeah, 96 megs of RAM. So I need to boost up the RAM. Although I think that's more RAM than it would come with default. 10.3 Panther is kind of the last supported version on here. So I could either go 10.3 or 10.4. Now, I think I've read that 10.3 will technically work with 96 megs of RAM, but that's not documented. So I probably could get away with it. Let's take a look. Maximum operating system, 10.3.9 Panther and 9.2.2. Unofficially can run Mac OS X 10.4.11 with X post facto or Mac OS X 10.5.8 if a G4 processor upgrade is installed. So I could replace the chip with a G4, but why would I do that on this? No. So yeah, I could probably get this to Tiger. It would probably work better with 9 than 10.
G4, is that the CPU?
Yeah, this is a G3.
It's also a TV station.
All right. Anything else we want to do with this, or should I shut this down?
Is it time for a raid?
I think it might be.
Yeah, 7:03 my time, California.
All right. So we're gonna shut this down, and you know what? We will be seeing more of this computer as I work on it more. I don't know. You know, if I try to do some OS installs, we might have to do that live here with my added webcam setup. I might have to work on tweaking that webcam setup.
Oh, maybe you could put Linux on it.
Yeah. I'm gonna. You know, my goals with this machine are twofold. One, see what it can do, and two, get it kind of restored to a new state. Now, one thing I got to say I observed here this whole time I had this thing turned on for over an hour, not once did it make the flyback transformer crackle. The first few days I was using this, it would occasionally crackle and make the screen flicker, which is that flyback transformer issue I was talking about. But it's not doing it now. Normally, that's not the type of problem that just works itself out after not being turned on for a while, but maybe there was some dust somewhere in there or something. I don't know. We'll keep an eye on that. But if the flickering comes back, we very well may get to watch a live flyback transformer transplant on this show. And mind you, this room's pretty small, so I don't have very far to fly if I touch the wrong thing. So you might see indentations made in the wall behind me.
More holes?
Yeah.
Right.
It'll probably take me a while to recover to be able to patch those.
Like I now have to patch this gator size indentation hole. Just a second.
Yeah. So, anyways, we're gonna see what's going on the raidables here. Let's see. We got let's see. We rated her last week. Oh, we rated her. Well, you know what? Olivia Pileggi is live again. She's one of our favorites.
Yeah.
And you know what? We always love rating her. She always engages with us, and so yeah, we're gonna raid Olivia Pileggi. Is who we're
Yay.
gonna raid. One of my favorites to raid. And she's singing your requests, and I've always offered
Super.
requests, and I never know what to request. So we get to watch that awkward dance happen again. Anyways, we do try to be educational here on your favorite internet radio show.
Insert title here.
And so, Brian, what have you learned this week?
That this iMac had a date issue. What was the year again? Where does it run out?
2019. It turns over to
2019,
1920.
December 31st.
Yeah.
That's cool. Because apparently another big date coming up is like 2032.
Oh. We got that.
My
to
brother
look forward
keeps
to.
talking about it, and I don't know what he's talking about.
It's the next Y2K.
Yeah.
Is it going to be as big as a letdown as the last one?
I don't know. Is Bigfoot real?
No. Neither is Y2K. But
Yeah, but that show continues. You know, on
We-
Animal Planet, they have Finding Bigfoot.
yeah.
And
Waiting-
you know, you look at an early, they've been beyond 10 seasons, I think.
Waiting for
And you look at
Dune
an early
Rant.
episode, and you look
Three,
at a recent episode, like,
2.
they're not actually doing anything different. Technology's kind of moved on.
In my mind, Bigfoot hunters are two groups of people hidden in the woods, sending mating calls back and forth to each other. That's
Exactly.
That is.
But it is amusing.
It is.
Insert title.
And then
Whoop. Wrong button.
we're starting over again.
Well, no, we're still doing what we learned. I just don't have a long loop of this. So,
No, that's cool.
Mars, what have you learned?
Mars.
I learned two things.
Yeah.
I learned one, that it takes one screw to get into a Mac. And I learned number two, I think there needs to be a new channel called Mac Hacks with Gators.
Mac Hacks with Gators.
Exactly.
I don't know if I've
Good
attained
name.
that level, but I've learned. Well, I learned about the date issue.
Or
and
would it be Mac foibles?
Yeah, that's probably more accurate. Well, I've learned a lot about iMacs the last few weeks, but I learned about the date issue today, and I learned that it would take me a really long time to set an accurate date on this machine by doing it one day at a time. And I also learned that when you set the date like that on an iMac, it suddenly turns all the dates on your files into 8-digit years instead of 2-digit years. So
Why not?
isn't that fun? And I don't know how that works when they're really just cheating with 2 digits to pretend there's 4.
I don't know.
But anyways, let's go ahead and let's raid Olivia. And Olivia. So we're going to go ahead and... Oh, I got to bring up my channel so I can type in my chat room. And we're going to do that. And yeah, tell her we sent you. Say hi. Check. We always enjoy watching her channel when she's streaming.
Yeah.
And there we go. And we'll be back next week with more
Yay.
computer fun.
With Mac Hacks with Gators.
Mac Hacks with Gators next Monday,
Right.
8 p.m.
Mac cracks with Gators.
Mac cracks as I'm going to smoke crack
While you're
'Cause-
doing it, yes.
because that's what it takes to get me to work on a Mac.
Right.
All right. Well, we're done now.
All right.
All right. Well, I'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Yes, sir.
Good night.